Welcome to Hear in Hanover, your all-access pass to everything happening in Hanover County. I'm your host, Kristen Smith Dunlop. School may be out for the summer, but we have Virginia's top teacher in the house. That's right, Avanti Yamamoto, or Mrs. Y. Is that what they call you in school?
Is.
She is here. She was just named the best teacher in all of the Commonwealth just last month, right?
Yes. Yep.
We are so excited that you're here to tell us more about that and tell us more about what you do in the classroom that apparently is getting a lot of recognition. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about this award? When we spoke earlier, you said, I didn't think I had any chance at winning Virginia's top teacher.
Well, I didn't. There's just so many incredible teachers in this whole state. And I was like, there's no way. Like, I'm just a math teacher. How could they possibly pick me? But the entire process starts from you are the teacher of the year for your school. And then all of the school teacher of the years apply for being the county. And then the county goes to the region, and the region goes to the state. So it's a whole year process, and there's applications and interviews and essays and lots of things. But it's been pretty incredible.
So how did it start? I mean, does someone within the Hanover schools nominate you and say, she's the one?
Yes. So someone nominated me. My math coach, Stella Childress, and one of my coworkers also nominated me. And they just nominate. There were a couple of amazing teachers at Atlee High School that were nominated. They brought us in, they interviewed us, and then they picked the school teacher of the year.
And then it just progressed up.
Yep. And then they gave me a big application to write a lot of essays and answer a lot of questions about myself, my philosophy, my beliefs of teaching, my practice, different things like that. And then they interviewed, I believe it was 6, maybe, I'm not really sure, finalists for Hanover County. And then they picked the county teacher of the year. And then from the county, I fill out another big application. And then against all of the other county teacher of the years, in our region, and then they pick a regional teacher of the year. So for Central Virginia, Region 1 was where I was selected. And then they bring all 8 regional teachers of the year, which was earlier last month, and they interview all of us all day long. And it's a big interview panel. And then they made the announcement later that day. But I spent the whole day with all of the other regional teachers of the years, and I was like, there's just no, these teachers are incredible. They're amazing. And, all I do is teach math. I just teach a couple quadratic equations and go home. But, so I'm not sure what they saw, but, I'm really grateful. I'm really, really honored.
Well, clearly you teach those few equations very, very well.
Thank you.
Because you're getting a lot of attention. And I failed to mention that Hanover is so fortunate to have you because you are a math teacher at Atlee High School.
Uh-huh.
And you've been there, 8 years now?
I have, yeah.
This is, you talked about the process to becoming teacher of the year a little bit, but your first accolade started when you were 2025 Hanover County Schools Teacher of the Year, 2025 Atlee High School Teacher of the Year, Hanover County Innovator of the Year finalist, and then every year since 2018, you've been a Hanover Scholars Honored Educator.
Yeah.
So you're up there. You've hit the big time.
The Honored Educator one is the one that I'm the most, it's an award that your students give you. And so that's the most special one to me. And if you're a Hanover Scholar, then you pick a educator that helped you the most or influenced you the most or things like that. And I'm always so honored when students pick me. That's the one that matters the most to me. I mean, I'm honored by all of it, but that one is the most meaningful. Just a student who has a plethora of teachers during their entire career, and they picked me. That's just so cool.
That is cool. What are you doing in the classroom, do you think, that is making a difference for these kids?
Well, I believe that math should not be taught through procedure and mimicry. I think we have to give students the opportunity to understand math through logic and reasoning. And so I don't teach a process when I teach math. I try to access whatever prior knowledge they have about the concepts. And then I sort of build, it's called thin slicing. So I build them up to the rigor. And I let them explore the content on their own so they make sense of it before I come in and formalize it with vocabulary words and different strategies and things like that. But they are the ones that are thinking through the math so that by the time I'm up there, I spend maybe 15, 20 minutes formalizing everything, but they've already done all of the legwork. They've already made sense of everything. And I think for a lot of students, they feel like math is supposed to just make sense. But in actuality, math, you're supposed to make sense of the math. And I think we as teachers are supposed to provide the opportunities for that to happen. And I really believe that teachers are supposed to be knowledge facilitators and not information tellers. And I read this incredible book, Building Thinking Classrooms by Peter Liljedahl. I read it a couple of years ago with my whole department. And it talks about how to teach math that way. And our old teaching strategies of teaching math are pretty ineffective because it's procedure and mimicry really don't build the understanding that students need to take that concept and apply it to other concepts, apply it to the next year, things like that. So I think by allowing students to make sense of the math on their own, it builds their confidence and they feel like they're capable of doing math, which is so scary for so many students. And you know, that's how I want them to feel. I want every child to feel like they are a math person. Because everyone is. The only prerequisite is that you are a human. Everybody is a math person. So that's sort of my teaching philosophy. I just want every child to feel that they are capable because I believe in their capabilities and I want them to also believe in themselves as well.
Can you give an example of how you make math more relatable for someone? So I Googled you when you agreed to come on the podcast, I'll admit. And I found a video that I think you must have done during COVID where you had I think a paper plate and you were explaining pi.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, I'm a little bit out of school, but I went, wow, nobody ever explained it to me that way. Like I know what it is, but the way you explained it was so simple, but it made so much sense.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that, I teach a lot of higher level math. And I think the higher you go, math becomes so much more abstract. And it's so important that we bring that into reality. And so a lot of what I do is teach students how to apply the math I teach them in the classroom to the real world about any subject that they are interested in. So, for example, when I teach exponential functions, my students go out and they find data that represents an exponential model, exponential growth or decay. They look at data and they'll use technology, they'll use Desmos and put in the data, they'll look at the curve and they'll create a mathematical equation that models the data. And then they'll use the model to make predictions and analyze the model in different ways. And it's so cool to watch them use that math. And so now it's not abstract anymore. It's something they can actually visualize. So I had a couple students a couple years ago. They looked at Steph Curry's effect on the NBA game because since he's entered the game, the number of three-pointers that have been attempted has exponentially gone up. And so they've looked at the number of three-pointer attempts over a couple of years, and they saw that it was exponential. But it was so cool to see them get so excited about math. And I do a similar project in Algebra 2 where they take any data about any function and they'll look at the regression and they'll try to figure out what type of a function it is. I'll have students do the same project for sine. For when I teach trigonometric functions, they find anything that's cyclical in nature is sinusoidal. So like ocean waves, for example, or like hours of daylight, things like that. And they'll find data and they'll model it. And it's just really cool to see them get so excited about math. And because they can see it. It's not something abstract anymore. They can actually visualize what it is. And in my Algebra 2 class, they read a book. They read Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. We read it throughout the entire year. And at the end of the year, they have to find their own outlier, someone who they feel is an outlier or a concept that is an outlier in nature, and then find data and model it to prove that they really are an outlier. And when I first did this project, I never made statistics even a part of it. I was just like, just talk about it. But because they were so interested in the concept and the math, they went out and they found math to model, like, this is an outlier. They created a normal distribution. They looked at the statistics, and they were like, statistically, they are an outlier. And it was just so cool, like, to see kids get excited about math. But, you know, I think that aspect is so important, like mathematical modeling and bringing math to reality. If you understand math, then you have a working understanding of the entire universe, because math is literally everywhere in everything. And I think it's my job as a math teacher to show students that.
Now, was math your favorite subject as a kid?
I was not a very good math student growing up. I was not an A student. I wasn't an F student. I was a bubble student. I was not as strong as some of my friends were by any means. But I also felt like, I don't know, like I wasn't seen as a math student. So I felt like I was kind of struggling, and it felt like nobody noticed. And I wanted, like, that's one of the reasons why I became a teacher, because I want to see every student, every kid, all 150 of them that walk through my door. I want to see every single one of them, no matter where you're at. Like, I want you all to know that I believe in you and your capabilities, and I want to guide you through the math and give you an opportunity to explore it. And I want to notice if you're struggling, you know, whether that be academically or emotionally. Like, I want you to know that I see you. But yeah, it wasn't always my strongest subject. I always loved it. I wasn't always the best at it, but.
Yeah. And you didn't initially set out to be a teacher either.
I did not. In my culture, being a teacher is not exactly accepted. So I always thought I was going to be a doctor. And I went to school. I went to VCU, and I studied biomathematics. In my third year, I had a professor, Dr. Larson. He said, you should be a math teacher. I don't know why. I have no idea what it was that he saw me, but he's like, you should do it. So he took me down the hallway, and I added a concentration of math education. And so I stayed an extra year at VCU, and I got my math ed degree. And then when I graduated, I had both degrees, and I worked in the hospital for a year. And I did not like it. So I
Good to find out then.
And I finally got the courage to tell my parents, like, oh, I really want to be a teacher. And so that's how I became a math teacher.
Do you have a teacher when you were young that you remembered? Like, everybody has that one teacher that did see them, that did understand them.
I had an amazing calculus professor at ODU. I transferred to VCU my third year. At ODU, I had an amazing calculus teacher. She taught me Calc 1 through 3, I believe. And she saw me. She always saw me. And she made me feel like I could do math. You know, like, that was the first time I felt that way, like that level of confidence. And she's the reason I changed my major to math, because I was originally pre-med. And then I was like, I can still go to med school with a math degree. Like, I can do anything if I have a math degree. So I just changed my major to math, and yeah, I loved it.
So you had an amazing teacher. How does it feel to know that you are an amazing teacher to students, that they're saying the same kinds of things about you?
Oh, if I could make even one child feel the way that she made me feel, then I know I'm making a difference. Yeah.
What are your plans for the future? Do you have anything going on?
Oh, well, I have some interviews and stuff like that lined up. I guess I'm going to be applying to the National Teacher of the Year program this year. Otherwise, you know, I really like what I do. I'm also the department leader at Atlee High School, and I love that job so much. So
your summer vacay has not started.
No, it doesn't start till June 17th, and then I come back, I think, July 14th.
But who's counting?
Yeah, not me. But I have some exciting summer plans. So, and I'm going to a couple conferences and things like that. So,
Well, so I guess one of my final questions, Hanover County schools are known to be great schools. I mean, our children are really fortunate to get the education that they do.
yeah.
What do you think it is about Hanover schools that sets these kids up for success?
It's because we have an incredible professional development team in Hanover County. And they work really hard to grow the teachers and educate them. And I mean, the professional learning opportunities that I have had since coming to Hanover, they are what has made me the teacher that I am. I would never have read that book if it wasn't for Ian Shank, our math curriculum coordinator. You know, I wouldn't be the teacher I am if it wasn't for my math coach, Della Childress. I mean, she's done coaching cycles with me, and she's always there, like, in my classroom. If I'm ever like, I want to do this, help me. She's doesn't even bat an eye. She's like, absolutely, I will do whatever I can to help you. And she gives me this courage to do anything in the classroom, because I know that if I fall and this doesn't work, she's going to be right there to be like, it's okay. We'll figure this out together. And like, that kind of instructional, like those are our instructional coaches in the classroom that we have in this county, and they're incredible. They're so knowledgeable, you know, and we have all these conferences that we have UPLC in the summertime and they're all teacher-led workshops. So you get to hear from other teachers and what they're doing in their classroom, and you get to collaborate with other teachers in that way. You know, I think when you develop and you grow and that's a focus for you, that's how you create incredible teachers, and that's what makes instruction so great. You get to do 14 hours every year, but you can do it on anything you want to do. Nothing is like required. So if I wanted to spend those 14 hours reading a book, I can do that. Or if I want to go to this conference, I can do that. It's all about me and where I want to go professionally. And this county really supports its teachers. And I am so grateful to be in this county. I would not be the teacher I am if it wasn't for Amy Thompson. Like, you know, she's the reason that I got my national board certification, and my math coach, and everybody. Like, it's such a great, amazing team of professionals in this county that just grow and develop their teachers.
Sounds like a stellar support system.
Yeah.
You got going, which is leading you to the White House.
Yeah.
Talk about what's coming up in the spring.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I get to go to the White House, which is so crazy. So I have to apply to the program. I think it comes out in like October or something. And then they'll choose 3 finalists from there. But regardless of if I'm a finalist or not, I get to still go to the White House, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I've never been. I mean, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and so I've seen the White House like a million times, but I've never been inside of it. So it'd be pretty cool.
Well, we'll have to have you back so you can give us the scoop.
Oh, sure.
After your trip in the spring.
I'd love to.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Well, you mentioned support system, and I have a really amazing support system at home. Like, none of this could have possibly happened without my husband, who's just always there for me. And, you know, we have a 3-year-old daughter, and it's like, I hope she's proud of her mom. She's been there, like, for every announcement. It's been really cool to share that with her. I also have a really incredible support system in my family. My parents are really amazing. They're always there to help take care of Rena. And then my support system at school and my coworkers is just astounding. Like, I have the best department ever. And I remember there was one day, I think it was in the winter, because kids get sick all the time in the winter. So Rena kept getting sick, which means I was always sick.
Right.
And I sat in the workroom and I was so exhausted. And then I had this like crowd of women, like my coworkers, my girlfriends, like they are also teachers and they're also mothers. And they sat me down and they were like, we are here for you. Anything that you need, we're here. So like if you need to just go because Rena is sick or you're sick, like, we'll do your sub plans for you just to go take care of yourself. Or like, if you need to go home, I'll cover your class. It's just like such an incredible support system that we have. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, there's no way I could have gotten to where I am without them. So
well, we're grateful for you for coming in and sharing your time and your energy today. You have a lot of energy, which I'm sure serves you well in teaching.
Thank you.
Hanover County is very fortunate to have you,
Thank
as a
you.
teacher in Atlee High School. Wow. Thank you again.
Thanks for having
joining us.
me.
Yes, and I hope you have a great summer vacation.
Thank
even though
you.
it's a little shorter than some of the students, but
It's okay.
you're going to be doing the work behind the scenes
Yes.
to get ready for next year, right?
Yes, it's very exciting work. I love it.
Yeah, and if you love it, then it's not like a job.
It's not a job at all for me.
Good luck to you at the White House in the spring, too.
Thank
We'll be
you.
keeping an eye out for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you for taking the time to join us today. We will slide into another episode in July when we're going to be giving you the inside scoop on this year's Tomato Festival. Have a great week. We'll see you in July.